Hello, my friends. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Sarah McGuire from Sassy Paper Crafts. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and today's project is this cute bunny card that uses the Easter Bunny stamp set from Stampin' Up! It's a photopolymer stamp set with 15 beautiful stamps in it. There is a coordinating punch for this bunny down here, but it is currently sold out. It is supposed to be back in May, but all week long, I'm going to be showcasing the stamp set and how easy it is to use these bunnies to make your projects. So if you would like to see how to make this card, please keep watching. So the first thing we have to do is a little bit of stamping. I'm using 3 stamps from this stamp set. I'm going to be using this bunny here, these flowers, and You're a Friend Like No Other for our sentiment. You can use whatever sentiment from this set that you'd like. They're all awesome. I will also show you how to make your cardstock fit any sentiment you're using. So let's start with stamping. We're only using 1 ink color today, basic gray. Now, I am going to be coloring these flowers here with Stampin' Blends. Normally, you'd want to use Memento ink, but I just thought it was a little bit too harsh, so I'm going to go ahead and use basic gray. We're going to stamp that first. I just have a scrap of basic white here and our flower on a C block. We're going to ink that up, stamp it, and then we'll take our bunny. And I've already die cut our circle from the Layering Circles dies. I'm going to ink that up and try to center it. Now, if you find it easier to stamp and then die cut, you can do that too. That's what I did on this card. I just, for the sake of time, already die cut. And I did have a die cut scallop circle from the Layering Circles dies. I used the fine shimmer designer series paper. There's a little something on it, but I used the fine shimmer paper. This comes with fresh freesia, which is what this is, soft, succulent, and gold. It's so pretty. So I thought I just had to use it for that border there. So that's going to go on top of there. And then for our sentiment, I'm using the You're a Friend Like No Other. And the way I got the measurement for my cardstock here, which by the way, all the measurements for this card are on my blog, is I took my stamp, take it off your block, and I use my grid paper down here. I don't know if you can see that, but I use my grid paper to measure it. And I just look. So this is about 1 by 1.5. That's exactly what size this paper is. So you can do that with any sentiment in here. So let's take this little one. It's a new day. So I look, it's about 3/4 by 1 3/4. So you just line it up and that's what you cut your cardstock to. So we're just going to ink this up in the basic gray. I'm going to line it up with my grid paper just so I get it as straight as possible. Perfect. And that is it for stamping. So I am going to clean off my stamps. Then we're going to get out the blends and color our flower. So now we're ready to color, and I do have quite a few of my Stampin' Blends here. I love Stampin' Blends for coloring. You can achieve the same look, or a similar look, I shouldn't say the same, but a similar look for these flowers by using either a blender pen and your ink pads, or a water painter and your ink pads. I prefer the blends. I love coloring. It's so relaxing to me. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 colors here. They all come in combo packs. I have Highland Heather, Pale Papaya, Soft Succulent, and Fresh Freesia. Now, Highland Heather and Fresh Freesia are very similar. So much so that I have the 2 light ones together on accident. These are Fresh Freesia and these are Highland Heather. That's how similar they are. But that, I don't know, I just love purples. And the Fresh Freesia, if you notice on the rose here, gives a little bit of a lighter color. I used Fresh Freesia over here as well. So let's do our coloring. I'm going to start with the leaves. I'm going to go with light, soft, succulent. Let me move these up. And I'll move the ones I've used out of the way as I use them. So I'm just going to color these leaves. And like I said, I love coloring. I find it therapeutic. I find it relaxing. So some of this I'm going to speed up, but not this part because it's pretty quick. Sometimes coloring is very quick. This is not a super detailed image, so it doesn't take a whole lot of time. So that's really it. I don't really need the dark. I just wanted to show you that they do come in a combo pack. So I'm going to set those aside. Now we're going to go in with the light fresh freesia. And I'm just going to do this flower here on the end. And I'm probably going to do this a little bit differently than I did in the flowers here. But that's okay, because I honestly don't remember what order I colored in. I was just coloring to color, and sometimes it looks a little bit different, but you know what? It's a handmade card. It's supposed to be. Now I am leaving the centers of the flowers white for now, because that's what we're going to use the pale papaya for. So I'm not going to put this one away yet, because I might still use it. I'm going to go in with the light pale papaya and the fine tip end, and I'm just going to get all those centers. And now we'll go in with the light Highland Heather. And I'll get this flower here. And actually, I might need a new Highland Heather combo pack, because my brush tip end on this one is kind of drying out. But the fine tip end still works, so I'll keep it a while. I keep things until they're just done. And then we're going to go in with the dark fresh freesia and the fine tip end. Just on our rose here. And then I want the light fresh free or light pale papaya again, just to reinforce those middles. And I do want light fresh freesia for these little pieces on the end here. And then the dark pale papaya is what we're going to do this flower in. I think that looks good, but I want to make my flower there's a little bit darker, so I'm going to go in with the dark Highland Heather just to give it a little bit more depth and to pop out from that fresh freesia flower. And I'm going to go in with the dark fresh freesia again on our rose. And that's it for coloring. So now I'm going to set all my blends aside. And I'm actually just going to fussy cut this. So when you fussy cut, I use my scissors here, my paper snips. You start, and I just follow the pattern. So this is a flower. I'm going to kind of go around it, but I'm trying to leave about like a 1/16 of an inch, not very big of a border. And my big tip is to always move your paper and not your scissors. Because when you move the paper, it just makes getting around those corners a lot more easy. And I have a hard time focusing and talking while fussy cutting, so this part I will speed up. Now that this is all cut out, I will admit I am not the best at fussy cutting, but it's something I'm working on and something I'm trying to get better at. Now we can assemble our card. Excuse me. I have the Highland Heather card base, and again, all the measurements are on my blog. You can click the link in the description of this video. It'll take you right to that blog post. I'm just going to burnish that card base, and then I have a piece of basic white. We're just going to stick that, whoops, right on top of our card base. You're going to need one more for the inside. I didn't decorate the inside of the card, but there's so many cute little stamps in this set that you totally could. I didn't for this card. Just wanted something kind of simple, so I'm going to take another 5 1/4 by 4 piece of basic white and just put that on the inside. And then I have a piece of Highland Heather Subtles Designer Series paper. This is a really cool paper pack, so I have the whole assortment here. But it comes with every color in the Subtles collection. And it's just a really pretty paper. And there's 4 different designs of each color. So it's a pretty good value. I'm just going to put this on our Highland Heather cardstock. And before we put this on our card, I want to take some of this Fresh Freesia open weave ribbon, say that 10 times fast, and wrap it around. Just gonna kind of eyeball it, cut a little piece off. I like to just put my seal where I'm gonna want it to go, and then I can just wrap this around. And I'm kind of going that bottom third of the card, just like that. And then we can set it down. We can put our bunny on our fine shimmer paper. I just love that paper. It's so pretty. And it's kind of a shame to cover it up with such a big circle, but I just wanted a little bit of it popping out. And now I'm going to grab both, mini dimensionals and regular dimensionals. We're going to use the mini dimensionals for this flower headband here. I'm just going to use 2. And if you don't have mini dimensionals, you can cut the edges or even cut your Stampin' Dimensionals, your regular ones, in half, and they work just fine. So we're just going to place that on the bunny's head, and then a couple of dimensionals on the back of here. Go with 5. It's a pretty big circle. And just place that kind of in the middle. And then we take our sentiment, put that on this piece of Highland Heather. I think I have a hair or something on it. There is stuff all over. And then a couple of dimensionals for that. And before we finish our card, of course, we have to add the bling, because I am all about the bling. Put that right there. I have some pastel pearls here. These come in pink. That's Highland Heather, Balmy Blue, and Gorgeous Grape. And we're going to be using the Highland Heather ones. You can use the Gorgeous Grape if you like, or whatever color you are making this card. And I'm just going to kind of randomly scatter them around. Even though it's pretty much the same places where I put it on this card, but just scatter them around. And that is it. So this would be such a fun card just to send a friend for springtime. I love the flowers, love the purple. Highland Heather is my favorite Stampin' Up! Color, so I hope you enjoyed this card today. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel to see more videos from me, and click that notification bell so you can get notified every time I upload a new video. I want to thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.